All right, welcome back to another episode of the Work Area. We got a driver, crew chief, car owner episode coming back at you here. It's we're at the Williamson Racing Team shed with me, Mark and Jacko Williamson. How are we, boys?
Good, mate. How are you?
No, good. We just knocked back that state saying I heard a bit about it before I got out here and it didn't disappoint.
Yeah, Mum's not too shabby on the cooking, so.
Where was your burger?
No bread. I'm on a health kick.
Oh, okay.
Waiting for my comeback.
Yeah, okay. No, that was a lovely little bit of kit. But back to these little crew series, sort of the season preview. Try and see what everyone's up to this season and try and build a bit of hype before we go racing in 3 weeks?
Yeah, I think it's just over 2 weeks.
Just over 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks this Saturday, righto. So you've obviously been busy in the off season with your own team and stuff like that. But while it's fresh in your mind, I reckon we just quickly recap Toowoomba and sort of talk us through Toowoomba and the deal that you had, how it all come about and how it went.
Yeah, we went over there Thursday night, so left work, met Dad at the airport. He flew down from his work, then went straight over there and put our seatbelts and some stuff in the car and just checked it type thing. Then went to the track. It's kind of just arrive and drive and see you there type thing. Yeah. So then pill drawed and got racing pretty much.
So did that, why Toowoomba? Is it because there's that deal that is over there? Is it something you always wanted to do? What even made you decide to go over there?
Well, it's just a brutal little track.
Yeah.
Man, I was like, you look at the drivers that punches out, Lockie's from there and he's a freak pretty much anywhere. And you watch the racing there and it's just busy.
It's a different style of racing, so need to diversify and upskill Jack's style. So little track. Like the Maddington Toyota Series has done it this year. We were doing a couple of country tracks, which is grand. But before that, you just don't want to get pigeonholed into big flowy track like Kwinana, and even Bunbury's pretty big.
So would Toowoomba remind you of anything over here, or what would be the closest track?
Nah, nothing. It's more similar to racing go-karts type thing, but that's why, the first time we went there, we were just blown away because it's just completely different. You know, you're going slower, so your wings less, and just heaps of little things that you don't really think of until you get there, and you come to back to square one, and you got to relearn, which is effectively great.
It's very hectic. Yeah.
So what's the hardest thing to adjust to from obviously your bread and butter at the Motorplex? What's the biggest difference in the cars?
I'm not sure.
Probably the banking, Jack.
Yeah, the banking in Toowoomba is pretty aggressive, and even down the main straight, you actually got to push your car up. That's probably the biggest thing I noticed. You got to actually steer your car to the fence or wherever you're driving it to and want to. Well, Motorplex kind of flattens off a little bit down the straights, but Toowoomba's kind of like a fruit ball, I guess. It's just
anything similar to Murray Bridge. Have you ever been there?
No, I've never seen the joint. Okay. So
that was a tiny little bowl.
Yeah,
it's a crazy little joint. It's a wicked place. But yeah, and then how was it over there? Is it just the quality of the field, the new track? Sort of what made it so difficult to be fast over there?
It's probably just the quality of drivers. You look at your top 10, top 15 drivers there, and they can pretty much go to most of the tracks around here and wherever, and they'll run in that top 15 still. And that's you're racing against the best then.
So beneficial for you to get over there?
Yeah, 100%. I reckon I've learnt more in those last 4 meets than I have probably 15 shows type thing over here. But it's just a different skill set. It's not learnt more. It's just learnt different things and how to do stuff a little bit differently. And it's close to racing over there as well. So.
And what about for you, Mark? Then obviously going over there and letting someone else run the program. Are you just a fly on the wall? Do you have any involvement in setting the car up? How does that sort of side of it work?
The car doesn't really change a whole heap. The first couple of nights we went over at the end of last season, we did 3 nights there. We did red hot shootout in the state title.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just had a crew chief assistant. We had Michael G and then Paul Gauntlet. They give me a bit of a hand, and they. It was pretty much on a parallel, just a little bit more tie down on the car. So this time we just sort of winged it by ourselves.
Yeah, okay, so they just sort of give you the car and say, crack in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, they'll do what you want, but that was our deal. We for the red hot shootout, our motor was going back to KRE for a freshen up. It was already over there, so we thought, just run it for 2 nights at Toowoomba, and then just lease the roller off Brodie Tulloch, Talboro. And then, it just made economical sense to do it. And then the state title, we just leased one of his engines. We'd sold our motor that was going over for a freshener.
Is it something that you would recommend or to other drivers, or something you guys are going to continue to do?
Oh, I'd definitely recommend it. It's especially for WA boys. A couple of years ago, I think it was Matt Eagle or one of them lads. I know he's doesn't race at Toowoomba a lot, but they just can find a gap that we don't see because we're too generous with the space at Kwinana. They hustle a lot harder, so I just figured we needed to knuckle down and find that. Like a lot of them East Coast boys have it. And
I just think back to Darwin when you said that. You could just see Lockie and Jock, when they run the bottom, they come in hard and then they just give it one extra little squirt and just jump like a car length. Yeah. And it's like, that's probably the only difference they might do compared to everyone else at the track. But that's why they're faster than everyone, because every time they enter at the bottom, they brake and then just give it this one little jump. And it was noticeable how much they would just jump ahead everywhere. Like all little tricks like that. Is that what you're sort of picking up racing a new track?
Yeah, and it's even like just using your throttle and all that hoo-ha differently. Like it's just such a pokey. It's more of a like stop and go type track. While the Motoplex, is really momentum based. So just, I don't know, it makes you think about it differently and like how you're going to attack it and all that hoo-ha.
Got to be a lot more aggressive on the starts, because you don't have a lot of space to do it. So we went over there and we worked on that specifically for the most part, didn't we, Jack?
Yeah, because we're too generous on our racing room really over here. Mainly because we just don't want to get involved in like a wreck or something on the start. But over there you just can't do that because otherwise you get swamped. And yeah, so over there, it's kind of sink or swim type thing.
It seems like a fine line everywhere in Speedway. Like, you need to almost take a risk to get yourself out of trouble and get going, but then you put yourself at risk and you crash, you can't learn anything on the infield. So, yeah, you got to pick and choose when you go, but you have to actually go sometimes. So it must be tricky, particularly in the big 410, mate.
Yeah, it's one of those things like you just got to know if you got a car if your car can't do it, you just got to bring it home in one piece and, take your 15th place or whatever it is. But if you know you got a car under you, that's when you can give it a crack and see where you end up.
I don't need any trade secrets or anything, but like driving
of those.
driving that car over there, is there something you learnt over there in terms of like the car setup that you'll bring back to the 24?
Nothing too crazy now. There's more so probably just things behind the wheel I learned, and I don't know, just trying to get after it a bit more because it's just such an aggressive little track.
Is that Talbot deal the only sort of deal like that in the country then that's like almost like advertised? I'm sure you'd pay for rides anywhere if you knew the right people, but is that the only sort of like business that does that around Australia?
Dave McFadden does the same thing out of Warrnambool. He's always got a couple of lease cars going. Yeah, but I look at it this way: it doesn't matter if we wad the 24 up or wad the Talboro car up or whatever, which one it is. You still got to repair it.
Yeah, it's still the fee. Hey, yeah.
So it just saves you transport and all your shit over there. And
all right, let's get stuck into it, mate. So, I've got to thank my sponsors. Like I spoke to you boys before, I've got some sponsors that have come on board this year that are genuinely helping me get out, one, on the track first and foremost, and then to do this podcast and help me pay for all this shit that I have to lug around everywhere. But obviously, KRM Hot Shots, one of my new businesses. If you got any work, flick it my way. We're trying to get out of the Wingos and into a 410, so we need a bit of help. Bunbury Toyota, Ryan Cricky and the boys down there. I've said it a couple of times now. I bought a car from him. It's genuinely one of the easiest experiences. I actually seen some quotes from my mates as well from some other dealerships. Man them up. But, Bunbury Toyota flogged them. So get down there, support Ryan, obviously really good speedway team. Jolly good auto electrics out of Midland there. Trevor's the same, mate. You can't see too many cars around speedway without a jolly good auto electrics. Just a really good person, helps a lot of people get out there. So, if you're in the market for anything in relation to that, jump over to Midland and book the car in. QV, but another ripper fella, Dan Golding, couldn't have said yes quicker when I asked him to jump on board. So, he's got everything. Jump online, QV. We'll figure that out properly once we get that sorted. Dylan Panizza, Platinum Tiger Insurance, just a mate from Albany who sort of seen that the Speedway pits, had a lot of big businesses in it, which sort of blew his mind. He didn't realise there was as many successful people in the industry, in the business, and into speedway that there is. And yeah, he's keen to try and make a mark there. So if you have any insurance, particularly in transport, which is what he specialises in, hit him up. He'll sort you out with a deal. TPE Group, Chris Clark, Ripper fella, gives me the studio and helps me out everything. And then Jared Culshaw, All Torque Engineering, the fastest wingless engines in the country. Get into it. That's the sponsors. Yeah, it's a necessary thing. That they truly help me out with everything they do. So if you can support them. Yeah, mate. So let's get back to it. Just quickly, you're relatively new to the sport, mate. So how long have you been in the sport?
410s, 4 years now. Then I started racing go-karts when I was, I think 13 I started. I was late to it, really, compared to others.
Yeah, 13 is late, hey?
Yeah. He wanted to play footy.
Yeah, okay.
I was just in the footy, and I didn't really care about racing until then. Then Dad got a limo, and then, yeah, my footy coach at the time, I was mates with his son at school and all that. Still good mates, and, yeah, he was racing dirt karts, and, yeah, from then just started racing.
How were you at footy?
I was all right.
He was all right,
I wasn't terrible, we'll put it that way.
Who'd you play for?
Munajong Centrals.
Oh.
Yeah,
Nice.
great club.
What about the dirt karts then? That seems to be the breeding ground. Knowing what you know now, like, is there a difference in would you have a difference in what you got into before sprint cars, black track, dirt karts, or is that the pathway?
Dirt karts, you learn a lot. Like the way we kind of attacked it was just keep it simple. You know, don't try to reinvent the wheel, and just try to drive around the kart, not adjust it to the track type thing. And yeah, I feel like the amount of good drivers out of dirt karts kind of speaks for itself.
How was he as a young fella, Mark? Did he go all right?
Yeah, he was uncannily natural, the bastard, but I didn't used to change the kart if the track was dry or if the water truck was out a hell of a lot. A lot of dads were down there, you know, reinventing the wheel, and I just said, I was here to learn, so you get your head around what you got to do to keep it all in a line. So he went all right. He got, I think he'd raced 12 months, maybe 14 or something. They had the Aussie title down at Wagen when he was a junior. He got third in the Aussie title. So
Yeah, right. It's good going.
went all right.
Did you miss it?
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. If it wasn't, I don't know. Like I'd like to race it more, but we'll get back into it, I'll say. But yeah, like I helped out with my cousin's footy, doing assistant coaching this winter, and then, you know, you're trying to build stuff in the shed, and your winter just goes so quick when you've got larger stuff to do, I'll say. Plus then, like, you know, they've got heaps of rainouts, which isn't their fault, but all of a sudden, you know, you get all your stuff ready and you only do 1 or 2 shows, and it doesn't really make the juice worth the squeeze. But it's only 10 minutes from here. Like, I'd love to get down there and race more.
Dirt trackers, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it helps you a lot.
My little man is starting to ask the question. Dad, can I get a go-kart? He's only 5, and I was like, no, you're too young. I looked up the rules. I was like, fuck, he's not too young. And then, yeah, I don't know. We'll try and get him in a midget if we can, but yeah, I'm just not sure it's what he truly wants to do, you know what I mean? And maybe he's just saying it because he sees what I'm doing. I'm not sure, but if he keeps on harassing me...
No, you just got to make sure they want to do it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Don't force them.
I used to ask Jack every day would go racing, you know, when he woke up, do you want to do this today? And never ever said no, but if he did, it was just like, I'm not wasting my time to go. And
yeah. Talk about the transition was the big girl behind us always the plan? Like, or when did that sort of start to become a reality?
We did outlaw karts in between dirt karts.
So, yeah, dirt track is shut down for a year.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I bought a outlaw kart, which is a Speedway Australia class. It was still under 16 at that stage, so it was 250. Marvellous device for teaching young racers that do want to race sprint cars specifically, I believe, because it's Speedway racing rules and you will learn throttle control with that, whereas with AIDCO you've got 10 or 15 horsepower in a KT. You can pretty much leave it buried where you got to drive the damn thing like a 410 with, especially when you go to a 450, 16 and above class. I'm a big believer in that. If you're coming into the sport cold, go and rip around in an outlaw kart for a summer and you will learn a lot. Otherwise you're going to struggle to keep that bad boy straight.
What's funner?
Both. Yeah, I mean, like they both got like their pros and cons, I guess, but Yeah, I don't know. I'm not phased. I'm
If they had an outlook cut track that was like had a proper banking and just didn't run the bottom, would that be funner?
yeah, like currently at the moment they're reshaping Pinjar and putting banking in it, and hopefully it's like putting new dirt as well. So hopefully that will be really cool for them.
Meant to be one coming at the Motorplex too.
Definitely is.
I hear.
Yeah,
But
can't remember. Gav told me it's going to be a replica of something, not Millbridge, something similar to that.
Cycland or something like that.
Can't remember what he said.
They got
but
heaps of those tracks.
full
out there.
banking, like so it's just like a little bit big enough that they might be able to run some classes that run at the Motorplex over on the track. But yeah, I feel like that's definitely something that I'd be interested in if there was that banking and wasn't follow the leader. But so do you reckon what if you could pick one, what do you think gives you the skills that translate better to a sprint car, a dirt car or an outlaw car?
Better to a sprint car would be the outlaw car, just based off the rules and stuff like Dad said.
Yeah.
And then you got so much power, like you always like you're constantly using your throttle, and they got three brakes, like they got a left front brake, so you can actually use the brake to help you turn, and more so like gets your like your brain into the gear of like constantly just driving into a circle.
Slide job, like switch back. Yeah.
But then like the dirt cart's also like meant for a fact like KT and Jane or they're direct drive, so if you spin out or whatever, that's it. You know, you're done for the heat race or the whatever. So it teaches you to race pretty smartly and like use your head type thing. So they both got their pros and cons, and I don't know, if I was to do it again, I'd still do both if I'm being honest, because I feel like got two different skill sets and they kind of just both aided each other.
So tell me the outlaw car. What sort of was the swap? Why didn't you stay in that? Like, and how quickly did this come to fruition?
So Dad was racing limited sprint car at the time, and it wasn't really the plan for us to go 410 racing or whatever, then, or even for me to drive the limo. And Dad's limited engine blew up just at a practice day. So in the Costa rebuild,
They seem to do that.
yeah.
They're animals.
Yeah, those limiters blow up.
And the Costa rebuild, that was pretty much like this step up to get a 410 motor, just because the heads and stuff on it were really hard to get and were going to be pricey. So we did that, and it was just, I don't know, the way it worked. I think COVID was like through that period and a few other little factors. So by the time we got all that stuff together, I was 16, and we just gave it a rip.
So 16.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was after COVID. I was closer to 17, I think.
Yeah. So the Winter Series made his debut because the Aussie title was coming, but it got deferred a couple of times.
Yep.
Yeah, and I just said, whoever's better in the car can do the Aussie title. I was really hoping it was me. But, we rolled him out at Ellenbrook there, and it started it twice at home. And then at the drivers' meeting, I said, you're going to give this rooster a couple of laps to settle in? And they said, we weren't, but they give him 3 hot laps. It was dog shit on it, and I thought, thank God he's normal. And then in his first heat, he went out and passed 2 cars because it was all in back then because they hadn't drafted off the limos and the 360.
Yep. Okay.
So it was just all in. He passed 2 cars in his first heat, and then in his second heat went out and passed 3, and I thought, fuck me. That's my driving career
You
done.
booted him out the seat, Jacko, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
So how did Ellenbrook end up then that night?
We ended up getting rained out.
On his side.
On his
We
leg.
ended up actually crashing into Mario Oweno. Someone spun out in front of him, and
Sean Zemanek,
yeah, he went to go like cut down, and it wasn't a crash, just like rolled over and like finished the race, but yeah,
And then it rained, and that was it.
yeah, because
That was the
Winter Series.
debut.
Yeah, but that was pretty fun. Like
Good fun day.
I remember when I did the first 3 laps, I thought I was absolutely ripping, and I thought I was flying, and then watched the video that Mum took, and I was like, it's a pretty quick reality check, to be honest.
What about, you're saying it's a fun day, Mark, but how was it truly watching your young fella get into the 410 for the very first time? Like, what was the you obviously know he can drive and stuff like that, but what about the feelings for you as a father watching your young bloke get into a car like that?
I was pretty bloody nervous, just because, you're just straight into the meat grinder, so to speak. And like he was, 16, you think you're a man, but you're still a boy.
Yeah.
But, then he just got faster and faster. And we're probably lucky that the day got rained out because that thing would have been through the catch fence, I guarantee you, because it was quicker and quicker and not enough brain and too much pedal. But it's worked out.
So that's how we got in.
I shit myself, though, in a nutshell.
Yeah, mate, I couldn't blame you. I would be too. Well, I was shitting myself just watching Matt on the weekend. Just like when you have someone out there on the field, it's that nerve wracking.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, go.
I didn't want him to crash other people out too, you know. It's
Yeah.
one thing wrecking our own shit and you wad that up. Well, that's our, deal. But it's terrible if he goes and takes out another guy or 2 or 3 cars and,
Well, the consequences are so much bigger in terms of legitimate injuries and the financial implications as well. Like,
this is real shit.
Yeah.
You can friggin' die in these things if you're not careful.
she's a wild game. All right, let's get into it then. So last year, mate, we obviously. What about before last year? Was there in the first sort of 3 years? Was there any sort of highlights throughout there, or was last year your first year where you're coming of age, but the first time you sort of ticked a few boxes?
Kind of, yes and no. Like the first year, like we got a heat win, like 5 shows in type thing, and we were quick, but we were kind of just hanging on like a rag in the breeze. We were kind of not tearing stuff up. Like we went through a phase of tearing a bit of stuff up, but it's kind of a bit on me, bit on them type jobbies. But no, we always had the speed straight up. It was just also like last year? Yeah. Like just trying to slow down enough and also think about what you're doing fully and then adding the speed, not having the speed and then trying to figure it out after it's happened type thing.
You know, they always talk about like the apprenticeship that you do and everyone seems to go through that period of tearing shit up. Is like, if you had to go back and give yourself one piece of advice when you were through that period, what would it be? Like, what was one thing you could have changed back then to sort of save you going through that hard period of tearing it up?
I'll tell you.
Yeah, go. You, Mark. You have a think.
When you're running out of arms, get off the bloody fence.
Yeah, that's
you
probably...
snap the front one off one at Bunbury there one night, and you'd pass the 2 car and the
we got
77, got up to 4th, and he was on fire, and that was with the first white car after the Maxim that you broke your neck in. And he was moving forward, and then he was coming up to lap Ryan Lancaster, so he was just running up high, so he didn't have to change his line and tag the fence, and she was away. Radiator off, whole front clip gone on a new car, and proper.
What were you thinking though? So you're coming up to laps of cars. You're in 4th. Who was in 3rd? Can you remember?
I'll say Milo or Kendrick. It was something like that. Like I knew he had a good car. That was when Melville was helping us, and
I think it was Kendrick.
Yeah, I think it was Kendo because I was kind of like in disbelief type thing that like when I got a couple of the like proper teams, and I was like, sweet, like keep on moving, and then
he found the bottom is what it was. And there's a bit of moisture in the bottom, and he found he was just driving under him. See you later.
Yeah, but then
Callum wound you in though.
Yeah, that's true, bloody. But no, it was like 25 laps green type thing, and on like a pretty fast Bunbury, and I just like ran out of arms, and then I just tagged the cushion, and I don't know, just didn't get onto it quick enough, I guess, and front end got sucked in, and then next minute you're looking at the sky.
So you're looking at a podium, and then you're looking at the sky.
Yeah, it was pretty quick fall from grace.
So it's just. Yeah, maybe like you said, realising if your car's not there or maybe your arms aren't there, back it down and take what you can actually finish with. And
yeah, that's probably the other thing. Like, I was probably oversteering the shit out of it back then. Like when probably could have just slowed my arms down, I would have been fine. But because you're, I don't know, kind of like a deer in headlights type thing. You're just trying to do everything like the best or whatever, or what you think is the best at the time, and you're not as savvy on your feet, so your arms are doing most of the work.
It's a learning thing.
Yeah,
you can see it's getting sloppier and sloppier, and it's oh my god.
Is it? Do you have to learn those lessons? You reckon?
Yeah, probably.
Like, could someone have told you that and you listen, or do you have to learn it?
Nah, because everyone's got a little bit of arrogance in them if they race.
They know a bit better.
Yeah, and you don't know until like you cross that line type thing, and now like you get to that point and you're like, oh, okay, like I'll knock it down a gear and just cruise, or vice versa. Like I know I'm actually pretty good. I'll step it up a gear and go.
I'll ask Mark first. Mark, so from back then to right now, what do you think Jacko's biggest improvements been in? Like what attribute, what do you see that he's improved on the most from, say, maybe like the second year once he actually really found his feet to now?
I think he's got more patience now, and he's always been pretty decent at reading the track. But yeah, he's definitely got more patience. When we had the car with the yellow fluoro stripe, we just sort of backed it down a notch, like Jack was saying, and I guess he learnt it there, and we run the whole summer with the same top wing and the same tail tank and
Same front end.
same front end. Yeah, it saved us a fortune. Whereas the year before that, the fluoro red car, that was 4 cars that year.
Yeah.
Still bleeding from that.
Yeah.
What about you? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that because it's just keeping your nose clean essentially, and just really knowing when to have a crack versus when not to.
So that's what it is then. Like it's easy to, it's like almost throwaway, like to keep your nose clean. How do you do that? Like what are you actually thinking in the track? Like are you going, I could take this, but I won't? Like what?
It's probably like, I don't know, like half your track position. Like you got to like say you're starting at 8th, you're not going to just give it a red hot crack on the start and like pass 4 cars because if we do that, tear a bit of stuff up. That's going to delay our program by a couple of shows. Or like if you're starting on the front row or second row, whatever of the heat, and you're like, okay, I'm in the position to have a crack because if I do, like we're going to start wherever it is. Versus if I pass 2 cars when I'm in 8th, I'm still going to be starting in the back of the mid pack dash or something.
Yeah.
Risk for a reward sort of deal,
All right.
And a bit of car placement on the track, if you got someone that's a bit wobbly in front of you, you got to pass them around the outside or somewhere you know where to place your car, and you've got to rip the skin off it and get it done fast. So a bit of that too, I suppose, Jack.
Yeah, just experience, really.
That's what I mean by having a bit of patience, You might wait till he has a bit of a wobble and you can time your run a bit more, whereas before that it was probably just a bit more
Just go.
balls deep, let's go.
So then last year, mate, let's just narrow in a little bit on that. 13th overall in the Maddington series. I've got 5 DNFs and 1 did not start. So you missed around and 5 DNFs.
We had fair few motor issues, to be honest.
A lot of motor issues.
One of our motors, and Trent Pigden was fortunate enough and gave us one of his motors to use for Night Tour Cricket Boys, and that thing let go in the heat as well. So we missed a lot of points like that, then had a right rear tyre pop on us.
Yeah, I want to talk about that race.
Yeah, then we also had a rod end break on us in the last round of speedway when we were in the dash. So
with that though, that's what I've written it in there, not to rub it in, but I feel like 13th with those DNFs and a DNS is actually a really good result because it's easily top 10 if you're half them.
We're 5th or 6th at one stage there early in the piece, and then just shit started happening. And
there's so much points. Like if you can pretty much finish all your feature races and get to every meet, like you can probably bank on like a top 10 nearly. Like as long as you're not right up the back, but if you're still having half a crack and you finish all of them, you can probably make a top 10.
Just cut my guts through here. No, all good. It's just the camera's going to be on me. I'll swap them over. What I'll do, I'll just quickly ask. So, what going into the year, like how heavily do you guys like goal set and do all that? Like, do you have we want to be top 10, or do you have like we want to start off the front row? What are your goals heading into the start of a new season?
Kind of none really. Like our kind of motto is as long as you can do like every lap the best you can at the time. You might just get a bad pill draw or something like that, and you can only do like the best lap for that track condition, and then that sets up your night really.
Yeah, if you look after your pennies, the pounds will look after themselves. My theory: if you put your best foot forward every time, it'll pay off at the end of the summer. It has to,
Need to make sure we got a speaker.
It's fucking getting cold in the shed.
Back on. Here we go. Yeah. Little pause. We'll sort that out. The software hopefully edits that out anyway. But yeah, so last year, we'll start with your worst race or like your hardest luck race. What would you say that was last year? Or one race you could get back, what would it be?
I don't know. We sucked at the state
Sucked
title.
too much to narrow it down.
We sucked at the state title the whole night just for whatever reason. So I feel like if we could redo that would be a bit better.
And what would that be? Like car setup, mentality, like it was just everything.
I feel like that was just a combination, to be honest. Like car was a little bit off. I was, I don't know, driving like I don't know, saying.
Handbag.
Yeah, then like just what we tried just didn't work, and I don't know, it was kind of like the first, or what would it been, like the third show that me and Dad were like truly working with each other as crew chief and driver, and I thought I had my ideas and Dad thought he had his, and it just wasn't working. Yeah, I mean, like as in we weren't meeting in the middle, then kind of after that we had a chat.
That's where they had the open red, isn't it?
Yeah.
You wanted more or less compression on the right rear, so I gave it to you. You come in with like 4 inches of bloody shock travel, and he sucked after that. And I said, well, there you go. Don't crew chief the car from inside. You can't.
You do your job.
Yeah. Had to eat my words then.
Yeah, because it sucked after that harder than we were,
It's
which is saying something.
Talk about that then, like the roles that you both play. Like at the start of the night, do you both discuss where the car's going to be, or is that purely up to you, Mark?
No, not really. We just wobble along and do our thing.
Normally have a look at the track and try taking an educated guess, and I don't know, our baseline's pretty similar like every time we go out, to be honest, for hot laps, and we just tweak it a little bit and go from there now.
Yeah, just give it whatever it needs. You don't always get it right.
No.
And with that, who do you sort of lean on for advice? Like if you had to call someone or bounce ideas off someone, who would that be for you?
We've been pretty lucky over the time. I try and, because we run our own deal, like a lot of guys that go and drive for people or have worked on different teams, they sort of take a bit of everyone with them, and they bank their knowledge. So we worked with Steve Melville in Jack's first year with the white car that he snapped in half.
Early on.
Yep, that was the second one. Mike Armstrong, he worked with us for a couple of summers, learned a lot off him, and then a couple of the guys over east. Pete Capehorn, did 5 nights with him. We did the 2 motors with him, which was really unfortunate.
Rocker as well?
Yeah, Rocker Zemanek helped us in the early days. I bought the first 410 off him. So he likes helping young people along and all, and he was invaluable, to be honest, because he really sped the program up. So just, if you're lucky enough to work with guys, you take a little bit of this and a bit of that, and it's just like any education, I suppose. You learn as you go.
And then
Still a long way to go, though.
I know you sort of have someone now, and you can speak to that in a second. But early, what about driving? Who would you lean on for driving advice?
I don't know, kind of no one. And looking back, I probably would have changed that. But I just used to watch a lot of race videos, and like I still do. But I used to just try to study it and see what the arms are doing, and see what the other drivers are doing, and who's doing what. And just if you can watch others and you can try to learn off that, it's actually really, really valuable.
Who would you sort of gravitate to watching the most, do you think?
Like, you tend to just watch the ones at the front because they're at the front for a reason.
They're winning.
But then, like, you also, like, you actually learn a lot from the ones at the back as well because, like, you'll see mistakes they're making and stuff. They didn't do that so often or whatever, but, they'll probably be a little bit quicker. So you just got to open your eyes and really pay attention to everyone a little bit, but also pay attention to no one a lot.
When I watch myself back, I always feel like I'm a little bit different on the track to what it looks like on TV. Is that what it's like for you when you watch back? You're like, oh, I thought I was running here, but I'm actually running there?
Yeah, 100%. Like, sometimes you think, you're right on the fence, or
How
like,
fucking
you're hitting
annoying
the
is that?
bottom properly or whatever, and you watch the video and you're like, oh, fuck.
That was nowhere near it. I was getting off way too late, And it's just, you look so dumb because you're like, what am I doing?
Yeah,
like, I know not to do that, and I'm doing it every lap. Why?
Yeah, proof that's such a mental game in sport. As much as you got to be like physically fit and whatever, you got to be pretty mentally fit as well.
So we covered the sort of the shitter period of it, but give me a couple of highlights from last year, like for you personally, and I'll ask you, Mark, after. But what was your highlight of the year?
It would either be like getting pole on Boxing Day was pretty cool, but I also enjoyed the last race we did at Motorplex when we got up to third, because we started 10th or wherever it was, but we actually like passed a few cars and just held our head pretty well. Is
that the night you did the right rear? When was that?
That was King of Wings.
But you were deep that night and got up to 4th?
Yeah, we started 20th that night, and we were miles off in quali, heat, and the dash, and we just threw the bloody workshop at it, and it just worked by fluke really, because we were so far lost that it wasn't funny.
We were at sea. We were lost at sea.
Yeah, without a paddle.
Not in the feature though.
No, I just searched around a lot and found the rubber earlier than. Yeah, I was probably the first one on the rubber.
Yeah.
And just passed a few cars, and then when I realised no one else had found it, I just tried to go as quickly as I could, like without being stupid. And then when the rubber come in, like, and everyone else was dropping down, I just tried to pull it up and wait for yellows.
So what do you hold high then? Starting off pole or like being in third? Like
Starting off pole was cool because we didn't get hot laps that day because we were kind of rushing in the workshop a little bit, which was our bad. But then we qualified third overall or whatever with no hot laps, so I thought that was pretty cool. And then like our heat race, we moved forward 2 spots, and that was pretty solid. Like even like had the fastest lap for the heat race, and then won the dash. So like I knew we had like proper speed that night. But then like looking back on it from now, like what we know with like our setup now to then, I wish we could kind of redo that night and just be a little bit better.
What would you change?
Just the way we attacked the car with the fuel load. Because before, I don't know, like probably last 2 races we kind of started like working on something that we found worked. But before then, like put a tank of fuel on and I was terrible. Just like wouldn't turn, and then when it would, it just unsettled the car completely, which it happens for everyone. But if you can help the car a little bit and just meet in the middle, it's a big advantage.
So what happened that night? You started off the front. Where did you end up finishing?
We ended up DNF and we were running 6 or something like that. Me and Eagle got together and we were lapping a car, kind of met in the middle. And I think we would have restarted, but Kerry tried to avoid us and ripped our rear end out. Or
he ran out of options because the cars parted and roadblock in front of him. Knocked the rear end out of it.
So bit of sweet end to it.
I was sobbing.
And what, like almost the opposite, Mark, from when you first seen him at Ellenbrook. What is it like to see him roll off pole at the Motorplex in front of all that crowd? Like, are you like stoked that he's off pole, or are you just like, shit, he everyone's behind him? Like, how's this going to plan out? Like, what is your mentality that night?
Well, I was nervous for him a little bit, I suppose, but for us that was an achievement in itself, heat win and a dash win.
No, not just for you, it's for anyone. Like it's not like that's a massive achievement for anyone.
Yep, no, but I knew Jack was a bit wound up tighter than normal. He's usually pretty casual, too casual. And he was tight as a drum, and I thought, oh God, he's going to step on his dick or he's going to go. He got the first start pretty right, and then
got called back.
Got called back.
Someone spun.
I can't remember what happened on the second start, but it didn't go too well for us.
No, I just got bloody.
Those boys learn so quick. Hey?
Yeah, I just got freight trained, and
that's a shark tank.
Get bombed by one, and you're like, I'll get it next corner. Then you get bombed by another, and
can't get your rhythm quick enough.
Yeah, and that's where you just need to attack straight away, and that's the hard part. So like knowing whether you got a car or not to do it, you just got to figure it out pretty quick.
It would have been nice to bank a top 5 or something that evening.
Or just anything, Jack.
Yeah. We're looking at the people who were starting behind us like before the feature, and like
you can't do that, surely. Like given your experience and stuff like that, I would not look at the field. I would shoot myself.
So swinging dicks in there. Probably smoked his brain out, to be honest.
But, probably shouldn't have that.
Is it? Do you get in your own head like you said, like you're fast enough, you qualified third and all that, but like it's still like just locally, Williamson, Kingshot, Milling, but then Carey, Eagle, like
there was Jock there, and
those names, like you're thinking shit, like
a little bit, but then like you also got to back yourself. Like you got to know that like you didn't get there because you pulled a number out the hat and that's where you start. Like you obviously got there for a reason, so you just kind of got to, I don't know, deal with it as it comes and just take the bull by the horns and run.
With has there been anyone that's like sort of you've raced with that's blown your mind with like what they've done or how they drove? Have you followed someone and gone, holy shit?
No, nothing off the top of my head. Like sometimes someone will pass you and like, I don't know, like they kind of bugger off before you can really even gather your thoughts to like try to get a punch back type thing. But no, nothing too crazy. Like most of you good dudes are good for a reason, and no one's doing anything too crazy. It's just
there's not a lot in between most of them.
Yeah,
like there's 24 cars down there. There's probably 22 of them, and you could throw a blanket over most of them.
So then, that's true.
So like, nothing wild happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose when you say that, like they probably get you, and they're maybe like a meter, like they're only creeping away from you, but they're getting away from you. And when you do that by 30 laps, that's when the distance comes into play.
Yeah.
Is there anyone out there that you love racing with, like, or someone that you constantly find yourself racing against?
Not normally end up with a race against Taylor, like
Yep.
Millen. Like we just end up in the same heat group or something like that for whatever reason. But
Fast way.
yeah, but no. Apart from that, not that I can think of off the top of my head.
So I feel like it's, without putting any pressure, I feel like it might be a bit of a breakout year. I feel like everything you've learned, everything that you guys are putting together and stuff like that could be a massive year. But what if there's something that you want to improve on, what would it be? Like if I can do this, then my season will be fine. What would that thing be?
We've been trying to work on our starts, like especially like in the heats of feature, because like we obviously don't like have a whole lot of equipment. We just try like not tear up where we don't have to. Like now, just try to be a bit smarter. But then also, if you give that gap, that one car gap, someone can get you type thing, and that's when you lose 2 spots and you have to repass those 2 cars to get back where you were. So we're just trying to eliminate the first 2 cars essentially, and then just be a bit better like that. So get a good start, and it helps you heaps.
And so starts. And what about like in terms of your skill set? What's your strength? Like, what do you think? Is it running the wall? Is it finding lines? Like, what would your strength be as a driver?
Probably qualifying, I'd say. Like when the track's got a bit of moisture to lean on, we're pretty good. That's probably a bit on me, a bit on like the setup. But as the track's starting to get slicker, like we're starting to get there, but you also got to move around a lot more and go searching, and that's a skill in itself. Like being able to like move around without losing too much speed.
Yeah, that's what it's so obvious when we watch Kyle at high limit how he could move around the track and never lose any like distance to the person in front of him, but he gets to try the bottom. No, that didn't quite work, but he doesn't fall back or lose a spot. So then he goes back to he wants to try something else. Yep, that's it, and then he attacks. But what do you like running the wall? Are you a gutter rat or you love it when it's up the top?
Bit of both,
He's
really.
universal, we can do it all.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't mind having a dip down bottom if it's there, but I also don't mind giving it a crack up top. So
You need to say rip the lip. What about you, Mark? Is there something like that you're trying to learn this year to improve on? Like, is it your shock knowledge? Is it is there something in terms of crew chief that you want to improve on?
I'd like to get a lot more intimate with the shock sort of deal, I've got to second guess myself and go back through my notes. I don't just have the confidence to walk up and go, I've got to bang 3 clicks out of this one and screw a bit more into this. And it's a real thought process for me. I'd like to be on autopilot a little bit more.
And how does that come about then? Is that just more time on the phone? Like, and who's CSI? Was it?
Yeah, we use shock therapy in Queensland. Paul Geary, he's in our corner. He's awesome. I could ring him now to answer the phone. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Is that how you improve? Just phone calls? Is it just more repetition?
He helped us fine tune our program with the shocks a lot. Mechanically, we are chipping away ourselves, but he got us in the ballpark very rapidly as soon as we started using the CSIs. Yeah,
and all right, so shocks. It seems to be the thing. Hey, it's like because you can make a massive adjustments with a couple of clicks, and it seems to set the car up real well. And what about then something that you want to see Jack improve on? Like he's said what the starts and that. Like, is there something that you want to see? Or is there something that you would want him to focus on?
I'd like to see him get in the car a bit bloody quicker on race night. He's always ginning around. But
is that why you missed hot laps that one night? What's going on with that?
No, we missed hot laps because we had a fuel line loose.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was on me.
No, you could have said blame it on someone else.
Jack.
Well, you just dawdled to get in the car.
No, I'm just normally chatting at everyone to be honest, and like
too casual. Friggin' rolls me up on the right rear hard. It's like, get in the fucking car. And he's too busy chatting to someone or dilly-dallying or whatever. I like to call me ducks in a row and no stress. Yeah, he's aging me prematurely on race day.
Is that a mentality thing for you, like in terms of racing, you need to be relaxed and having fun to race, or like maybe could you switch on more? Like what do you feel like you need to be to race good?
Well, I feel like just with like getting in the car or whatever, I feel like if you're getting in the car at your own speed and you don't have to rush. You do your belts how you normally would, then your arms or whatever your thing is. And if you do that, you're like, oh yeah, cool. Like let's roll down. Well, I feel like if you're rushing, like you slap it together, and then it's like, oh shit, did I do this? Did I do that? And then all of a sudden you're rolling around. You're like, oh, did I put my hands on correctly? Or you know what I mean? Like your brain's still ticking.
That's every time, Jack.
Yeah, but I just like cruising.
Mate, I've heard a story. I won't name who it is just in case it's wrong. I've heard there's a dude in the 410s that does not do his hands up until like we're going green next lap. Down the back straight, he does his hands and tightens his belt.
Yeah, righto.
Yeah, I can do that.
Nah, that wigs me out. I don't know if that's true. There'll be a few people that know who it is, so I'd love a message or something like that. But to click that in, John, going down the back straight and then tighten up then, that would be a nightmare for me.
Nah, bugger that. I'll pull on my belts a bit when I'm rolling around, like under the yellow or whatever. I'll loosen them off like a tiny bit, but they're definitely not flopping around.
Nah, it's loose and no hands. Like, that's tricky sometimes.
Nah, bugger that.
Yeah, no good for me. Then what about your season goals this year, Jack? Like, again, I ask everyone, is it like, I want X amount of top fives. I want to be 10th overall, 5th overall. Like, what's your goals that if you're having a beer in the end of the season, you'd be like, like this happened, but at least I got this?
Like probably like top 7s, top 5s, like around that benchmark, because some nights you're not just, you're not going to be able to do that all the time because there's so many good cars. But like if you can really like aim around like say the top 7, top 5 and hang around there, but like also like the recovery of like say a bad night, say like you DNF in a heat or you miss quali or whatever it is, like how well you can recover is something I want to try work on.
How hard is that, like, in that field, though? Like, the to overcome that mentally, knowing, like, fucked qualifying or I didn't do good at that or whatever, and just knowing the quality of the field. Do you have to get out of your own head a little bit sometimes and just go, right, let's reset?
Yeah, a little bit. Like, you just try not to get in your own head, but like you just got to look like, why we're here. Like, is it because of our fault? Like, did we crash out on ourselves or someone spin out in front of us, or like, did we just miss the setup and that's just, let's focus on that, then have another crack type thing.
I love the thing, everything's my fault. Like, because if you trace it always back to that, you can almost control it, and then it takes out all the unknowns. Like, so if you did qualify bad, well, that's your fault, and if you can always work it back to, is there anything else I could have done? There always is something you could have done that could change anything.
Yeah, correct. Like you put yourself in that position. Yep. Like sometimes you are going to get unlucky, but even then, like you put yourself there.
The thing with sprint car racing that I love about is your fortune can change for the better or the worse in an instant. So you might start at the back of your heat because you missed qualifying or something, and there can be half a dozen people wadded up in your heat race, and all of a sudden you're in a bloody dash.
Yep.
That easy. And you can go from looking like you're going to make the dash to something silly happening and you're in the mid-pack or worse,
What's your favourite race? Well, or your favourite thing? Is it qualifying, like heat, dash, feature? Like, do you have something that you really like doing?
I like heat races, like when the track's like, we'll say racy, whatever state that is, like, and you get a car into where you can actually like move around, and because the heat races, because they're so short, they're pretty, you just got to go and be intense straight away.
But were you flying heat races at the start of the year? Did you start off like undefeated?
Yeah, we got 2 to start the year. Then we got nothing
yeah,
after that.
early. I remember heat race and dashes.
Nah, no dashes until bloody Boxing Day.
Yeah. No, I remember you were flying early, mate. With this, obviously, it's like a team review and season preview. It's in terms of your team. We'll start with like the crew guys. Like, is there anyone that helps you guys consistently that you probably never get to give a proper shout out to? But if someone's sitting on the hill, I don't reckon they would truly understand how much help you actually need in the pits, and whether it's mum like helping out with selling shirts and stuff like that. Who's the people behind the scenes that help you roll out onto the track?
Mr. Wilt, like Jamie Wilson, bloody. He's helped me since started go-kart racing, I reckon, like all up over like every single race I've ever done.
He's been with me since I bought my first race car 25 years or more ago.
Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Wilt.
Yeah.
Uncle Wilt.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Is he a sponsor, crew guy?
No, just family friend that's crew guy, bloody.
And just loves it.
Yeah, like his daughter races go-karts, he races outlaw karts, pretty much anywhere there's a racetrack, he pretty much is, but he's here, nearly lives here during the summer. He's here all the time, but yeah, he's probably only missed like 5 races since I've ever started racing, and normally that's not by his choice. So just unlucky. But no, like without him, like this team would not hit the track. Full stop.
And what about anyone else that's there consistently, or is it just the family sort of team?
Yeah, Jenny looks after all the admin and
Tickets,
T-shirts,
Eskies,
food, beer, everything. That's
not mechanical, pretty much.
What about the crew shirts last year? They were the sickest shirts in the pits, I reckon.
Yeah,
the collared.
81 race where I did them.
Yep.
Josh Walton, one of the Waltons, did a really good job on it. So,
Yeah, those crew shirts were sick.
yeah, and easy to deal with as well. So hit 'em
yeah,
up.
it's good.
And then obviously the people that make it go around, it's probably highlighted by MDH Transport, the guys that actually help you get on track. And like I'm interested in MDH because it's one of those sponsors that I see around now, and why I see them is because they sponsor your car. Like you would have seen that logo. I probably would have seen that logo throughout the last 10 years, but it's only once it pops up on your car that you start to put two and two together. Like how's that relationship with MDH come around?
I subcontract to him with a couple of trucks,
Yep.
and it's just sort of grown from there. It was with Jack from the Outlaw card, I think.
Yeah, he's been with us for a while now. So.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, right.
Matt's a good lad.
Mm.
So,
And then obviously that's you. Then M&J Williamson Cartage and Contracting. That's the family business.
yep, that's us.
And then who else is sort of? What about this Kwinana Meat and Poultry, mate? Where's that around?
They're a new sponsor this year, so yeah, Mum buys all our meat through them. And yeah,
Is that what I had tonight?
I think so. It's
Just
pretty good.
yes.
I'd imagine
Oh,
so,
beautiful.
definitely.
Kwinana Meat and Poultry. I can
Best
speak
steak
for them.
sandwich.
That's the best steak sandwich I've ever had, and it's from them.
Yep. East Pilbara's been on board with us.
Yeah,
since
that's Cheesy that you were speaking about yesterday.
Yep. Yeah. Right. Is that cheesy?
Yeah. So yeah, he's everywhere.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He's a street stock fella.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like he's another one of like when I spoke before, Trevor Jolie and QV and all these types, mate. They sponsor so much and they help so many teams get out on the track. That East Pilbara Tyre Service, how many stickers do you reckon are on cars?
Everywhere.
Everywhere, hey?
Everywhere.
If you played a drinking game with it, you'd end up half cut.
Yeah. You wouldn't get through a heat.
No,
No.
you wouldn't.
Not in the street stock.
Especially, yeah, I was about to say with tin tops,
Yeah, that's cheesy. Yeah,
Wow.
right. I hadn't put that together.
Yep. Yeah, Total Tools Rockinham's been with Jack since
They were
dirt karting days.
What's with that? If the power goes out at the Motorplex, you guys got it covered, I reckon. That generator. Whoa.
Huge.
Well, if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly bear.
Yeah.
Just put something in, and I figure if you can run a microwave, boil the kettle, and I'd like to get a shock dyno eventually, and that's the future. And yeah, you need that AC going in summer down there. It's bloody scalding, and want the driver to be fresh as a daisy, and I'm a wimp too.
Yeah. And Total Tools Rockingham. Great sponsor, Nick Rowe as well. Again, they do help heaps of people.
Yeah,
AJ Nash.
Sponsor the Cricket Boys as well.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, they sponsor everything, eh?
Yep.
He's a ripper fella, eh?
Yeah, Nathan and the team down there are really good. And yeah, how long have they been on now? Like 4 years or something. So they've been a good supporter of us.
Yep.
And then Slick Apparel.
Yeah, Amber and Matt's new business, so they're going to give that a crack and see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm hell keen for them. Truck and trailer parts, Lano Tech, Streamline, Kelly Jane Artistry.
Yeah, makeup. So if any of the lads want some eyebrows done or something.
I might need a bit of work.
Luke Rowland, he's got concrete pumping trucks.
Yep, yeah, that's hiding. GRP contracting.
Yep.
Yeah, we got
Power control.
Yeah, power control products, buddy.
Tell the story about getting them guys on board.
Yeah, I was just at work one day and buddy had to go and get some like electrical products and walked in and there's like a simulator like just in the middle of their showroom. And I was like, oh, what's to go there? Radio rah. And he's like, oh, like, you know, we all like V8 supercars and racing. And so just on our lunch breaks, we, you know, give it a rip on the iRace. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, oh, you into racing? I was like, oh, yeah, race speedway, right. He's like, oh, I watch Night Thunder. And I was like, oh, yeah, buddy, radio rah. You know, long story short, do you want to sponsor the sprint car? He's like, oh, yeah, I'll speak to my boss and see how we go. And, yeah, like a day later, they were like, yep, we're on board. Like, let's get keen.
Did you jump on the sim?
No, I'm terrible in the sim.
Didn't want to. You do that, he might not sponsor you.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's probably like, you got to pay me now. So,
Mate, you jump on that sim at TPE all the time.
yeah, occasionally, but I'm just no good on it.
Mate, I went in
more
today. It needed
practice.
the biggest update. It pissed me off so much. I'd wedged out some time to get down there and get on it. Hour upload, and I was like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's a little bit not odd to rattle the sponsors off like that, but it generally people don't roll out onto the track without it.
No.
Like,
The CSI link is CME boilermaking Squid.
yep.
They're mates through midget racing, and Squid, he sponsored us the first set, and he said these will make a difference, and I was like, yeah, whatever. We got FKs, and like, we're pretty happy where we were because they were a massive leap over of just standard pros, and that's how things come about, just through relationships. More relationships you can have with people, the better your program will end up being, I believe.
Yeah, there's so many people in the sport that truly want the best for other people.
That's right.
Like, and
We used to sponsor Mark Wells and tied up with McCallum Racing. They've raced with quite a few people, haven't they, Jacko?
Yeah. But even like I got two of my mates who are just like my age, like in their 20s, and one of them does like oil filters for the year, and the other one does Materos for the year. And it's just like small contributions like that make such a huge difference, and you don't think about it until you see it at the end of the year, and saves a chunk of money.
I feel like a scab sometimes. When I'm racing, every tear-off's $2. And I feel like Mario Kart, you know when you hit the coin, it's like ding. That's what I think when I throw a tear-off out the window. Like, I was thinking about it in the 2-seater with Blake Ivanhoe. I was pulling tear-offs, and I was like, I just threw out $8 worth of tear-offs.
Did you have X-Stacks on?
Yeah. I didn't want to miss out on anything. Mate, we were chasing Jamie Oldfield. I'm not going to not see that.
Yeah.
Like, which was hectic too, by the way. I probably should have talked about it a bit more in the other one, but mate, those street stocks are wild.
Yeah, crazy bits of kit.
And what's the season look like for you guys then in the car? Is there any travel? Is it just Maddington Toyota? How does that pan out?
We're going to try to run all the Maddington Toyota series, obviously, like subject to change. If we tear up a bunch of stuff, we're obviously not going to, but all going smoothly. We're going to try to run all the shows, and we're also going to try head over for the Classic and give that a rip.
What are you most looking forward to? Obviously, besides the Classic, and what's your favourite Motorplex event? And then what are the country tracks you're most looking forward to go to?
I really like King Wings, to be honest.
My man.
Yeah, just 40 lap race, and normally the track's pretty good for that, mate. It's early on enough where like you get like your one or two, like we'll say like flying drivers or whatever come over. So, but no, it's just a cool little race, to be honest. And
I just love the pit stop and like you can see him like effectively that clip of David Priolo telling Andrew like, if you don't, you're the fastest car out here. If you don't win, I'm going to kick the shit out of you. I think he says. I love that clip. It just like, it's funny, but it also shows like the passion and how much it truly means and how serious it is as well. And it's like rarely do you get an insight of like crew sort of driver having a chat, and you get to see that in that. I love that event. And then what about the country tracks? Which one?
Probably Albany, to be honest. Like that's supposed to be a little pleasure dome, so I'm looking forward to going there. Remember watching like the World Series video back in the day, bloody around there, and that was really good. So hopefully it's similar to that, and yeah.
She was slick for the wingless. It was like dead flat, as smooth as you could ever see.
Well, you watch late models and the wingos around there, and they bang boards, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, but that's Kai Blight. You can't judge it off him. He lapped everyone nearly.
He's a freak.
Yeah, if you want one, go one. Yeah, Kai Blight and Albany there. So I'm actually interested and keen to watch the I'd love one if you are going.
Yep.
The lineup though for Albany is going to be a massive issue. Like the line to get in for spec. Yeah, mate. Like I'm talking down the highway halfway back to town.
Yeah. And
they line up. The gates will open at 4. They'll be lining up at 8 o'clock in the morning.
410s haven't been there for a fair few years, though.
Nah, I reckon it would have been back in the day. I reckon there was one. I know James Inglis run there, so it's obviously not that long ago. But yeah, not for a long time. And it's a big speedway town. Like people love it. And then obviously sprint cars drag the critters out of every corner, when they come to town, and they are starved of it. So people don't get to see it most. And have you ever run like Kalgoorlie or Geraldton in anything else?
No, I've never run like Cal or Gero, but I ran Mora and Pathara in a limited a few years ago, and that was pretty cool. So Mora's actually a pretty cool little track. I enjoyed that. Yeah.
And then, mate, we're on. We're just waiting for the old boy to get back, and we'll wrap this thing up, mate.
Yeah, throat dry.
Mate, yeah. How does he talk to you then, like after a race? How strong's the feedback from the old boy?
He's pretty direct. Like he's not rude because, like he knows, he knows that it's not easy. You know what I mean? So he's not going to be like too harsh where like he's setting the standard stupidly high, but he's also not stupid where he knows like what needs to get done.
Do you need to be
order.
held in line sometimes, though, you reckon?
Oh, yes and no. I probably think I don't, but I probably do.
Too relaxed, he reckons.
Yeah, he freaks out if I'm too cruisy.
Mate, what about, obviously, the family run? Sorry, I didn't grab your younger sister's name, but obviously your sister Amber, she has a rip around. How does she go?
Yeah, she goes all right. She pounds the throttle and probably needs a back pedal a bit sometimes, but it's just one of those things, you go through that stage and you get through it and, you just got to learn.
And what's she run?
She runs the Outlook cart.
Yeah. Is that like the 450?
Yeah, she runs the 450, so she didn't even know how to drive a manual car and jumped in that with a clutch. And
Do they have a clutch?
yeah, they're like, because they just got a gearbox, like the same as a dirt bike.
Yep.
And they got like their little shifter on the right, so you only race around like in third or fourth gear type thing, so you're not actually changing it. It's just
You got to get to it, though.
get started and go.
And has she had any wins, or how does she go?
Yeah, she goes all right. She's got a heat win, so not too.
On the podium one night, she got a third, remember?
No, I don't remember that, but
Probably weren't there.
You could have just said, yeah, I remember that.
yeah, I'm sure she won it as well.
All right. So, yeah. What about you? What are your goals for him? He said that he wants the 5 or 7 and stuff like that. But obviously, yeah, you the car owner, the crew chief, dad. Like, what do you want to see at the end of the year?
Well, when you went to saying about goals earlier, we made every feature race in the high limits last summer. I'd like to try and repeat that. It's
Contrary to some belief, I got so much feedback about
Did
that.
you?
Yeah, I got. Yeah, that's a massive achievement.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I'd like to pull that off again. And I thought we were capable of achieving a top 7 in the series overall. I'd like to get on the podium. I think we can if the cards fall our way. I think we're heading that way. We're travelling in the right direction. It's just when.
Well, what will this should be like if you get on the podium?
Upside down.
I got a bottle of Bundy Black I've had since I was 21. We'll rip the top off that one, I think.
If that thing's getting sucked back, we know you've done it right.
Yeah. Mr. Will, our crew guy, he doesn't drink anymore, but he said he'll have a drink or two if we do crack a podium. So that's the inspiration to do it.
Perfect. All right. Well, yeah, epic way to end it. I think we've covered everything. Anything you boys want to jump in and add, or anyone that you need to thank to before we wrap this thing up?
There's been a lot of people involved. Probably can't name anyone individually, but yeah, whoever you are, if you know you've helped us out along the way, thank you very much. It's like takes a village to raise a man, they say, and there's definitely been a lot of advice and input from a lot of people. Even now, if I sat down and had to list them all, I don't reckon I probably could, but yeah, it takes a village to raise a man.
What about then the last? I meant to ask everyone this. Everyone sells merch and stuff. How important is merch to a team? Like, how important is it to actually sell it and make sure your shirts are getting out there?
Pretty important. Bloody, my sisters sell our merch, and especially like through High Limit and all that, like it shows like how many people are actually at the motor place. Like we sold out of merch, then had to restock it, then sold out again. And we're like nobodies in the scheme of things, so.
It's part of the entertainment package, like, because people don't go down there anymore just to watch us race cars rip around the track and all. I don't know what the right word. It's not a carnival, but it's definitely a whole entertainment package.
Mate,
and
Bo McInerney said it. They're not rounds, they're events.
Yeah, absolutely. And people want souvenirs, and I find the public in the last 5 or 10 years really starting to get behind this. It's just gaining more and more inertia, and they feel invested in the sport by buying your T-shirt or a hat, and they can walk down there and they're proud of who they're supporting, and they see someone with a rival shirt they don't like and they think he's a wanker, and but it just creates a good atmosphere down there.
But it actually helps the teams as well, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, a bit of money back in.
Yeah. Well, we don't make a lot off it. We sort of cover our merch, and sponsors get merch packs and bits and bobs. It's not. Doesn't really do a lot for us. If you had to pay the girls' time, it'd probably end up backwards. It's not the smartest business decision for us. We're not Kyle Larson, but it's just part of it. It still blows me out when I see someone walking down at the speedway, or you go down the shops or town somewhere and you'll see someone. Oh, there was a fella on Tinder wearing a Jack Williamson t-shirt. Someone screenshotted it and sent it to us. They pop up everywhere with people you don't know. And
Hopefully he got a few swipes.
Oh, I hope so.
shagged to death, I've heard.
By blokes.
But that blows me out a lot,
Yep.
you know, because this to us is still just our little racing thing, but you know, I suppose it's spreading out. And
No, it's the sport as a whole. I think people, you can buy a shirt and stuff like that, and you have some investment. Like my two little boys, they call him Callum Williams Sprint. That's what they think his name is, but they rock his shirt. But they love it because it's Hot Wheels and they're infatuated with him now just because of the t-shirt.
Yep,
They don't watch him
absolutely.
race, nothing, but they know his name, they know his number. They if they do see him on the TV, they know him. They got no idea who he is, what he look like, anything, but it's his shirt, and the shirt's the gateway for them to get into the sport, if that makes sense.
Yep,
Especially
100%.
especially down at the motorplex, like you can just buy the shirt straight from the trailer.
Yep.
Then
Yep.
all of a sudden, like, you know, you have a quick chit chat to them or whatever, then they're buying a hat, and all of a sudden, you know, like you guys, like you get your core group of fans or whatever, and then they say you each meet, and you know they'll buy a slice of bread off you if like you really wanted to, and that's why the motorplex is just so good with that side of things. It's
Yep.
the reason why the crowds are so strong every race, mate, because you know the fans can get like just have a chat about work or
It's
whatever
awesome.
it is, you know, with the drivers.
Even when I was racing, like low level stuff, I was thrilled if I could speak to a 410 driver, like, you know, and pick their brains a little bit, or just get the time off Kerry or someone at the classic. Or
That's so cool, though,
It is
and they're so accessible.
fantastic. Yeah. Whereas I don't know how NASCAR and F1 and all that goes. You need security and VIP passes and all that, and it's just a little bit too sterile for me. And you know, I just like it's just Speedway's unique like that, you know.
Sweet. All right, mate, perfect way to end it. Really appreciate your time, boys. Like everyone, I can't wait to see you get out there in a couple of weeks and let rip.
Cheers.
Done.
Cheers
Cheers for your time.
having us.
See you,
You
boys.
have a good season, Kurt.